So starting this list off, in at number 10, we have the creepy animatronics at Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah, apparently these animatronics are scarier than their recycled pizza. The Munch's Make-Believe Band is a group of robots that have been a showstopper at Chuck E. Cheese restaurants since 1989. I didn't know it went back that long.
Come on and sing along with song title. You never can go wrong with song title.
So if you want one last scare, you might need to visit Chuck E. Cheese sooner than later because the company has actually decided to get rid of them for good. Well, you know what? That's probably a smart strategy. Also fix the pizza situation going on there. And I mean, I know that these animatronics have been tormenting and scaring the lives of children for decades, but the company plans on replacing them with updated robots, and you know what? I'm not even mad at that. Climbing up this list, in at number 9, we have E.T.'s friend. If you thought E.T. was scary, I think he was scary when I was younger. Well, you haven't seen anything yet. At Universal Orlando Resort, I dare you to go on the E.T. Adventure ride. Although it's marketed towards children, I guarantee you that you're gonna be freaked out when you're flying by E.T.'s friend. Well, here's a little preview. Well, I've come to accept E.T., but I don't know if I can come to accept his friend. I don't know if I get on board with that one. They're way too terrifying, and to be honest with you guys, they're really creepy, so let's move on. Let's see what else we have on this list. The Little Mermaid swims onto this list at number 8. Disneyland is known for their fully immersive rides and really immersive set designs, but some of their rides are more creepy than magical. Take for example the Little Mermaid ride. The ride follows Ariel through 3 acts, starting with Ariel's world under the sea and goes all the way to the royal wedding celebration, but the Ursula animatronic is what we're talking about right now. She is 7 foot tall, 12 feet wide. Not only does she move super realistically, but sometimes she might even lose her head. Well, take a look at what the heck I'm talking about. Okay, what a poor and unfortunate soul. That was pretty traumatizing if you were a kid and you saw that. Jumping into number 7, we have Jaws. The former Jaws ride at Universal Studios Florida operated for almost 2 decades before it was shut down in 2012 to make way for the wizarding world of Harry Potter, of course. But for those guests who were lucky enough to get onto this ride, they know firsthand how terrifying it would have been to be pursued by a giant great white shark. If you have an irrational fear of sharks, this next clip definitely won't help you guys. Up next, and at number 6, we have the entire It's a Small World, well, the ride. It's one of the most annoying rides. Imagine getting stuck on that. Okay, no, seriously, why is this ride so creepy? I swear the only reason why this ride was created was that parents could force their misbehaved kids to go on it and listen to the song play over and over and over. It almost feels like sometimes this ride is not going to end, and it causes these kids to go insane. Does anyone else find the song to be extremely annoying? Like, not the song itself, but the song played 50 times over and over. And I know it's one of Disney's most iconic rides, but I could definitely do without this one. Actually, my life would feel a lot more complete if they just replaced this ride with something else less annoying. Pennywise takes us into our number 5 spot. I'm sure you all know who Pennywise is by now, but in case you repressed all your memories because he scared the hell out of you guys, well, let me refresh your memory. Pennywise is the main antagonist from It, and he can disguise himself as the victim's worst fear, and then he will feed onto their souls. Now that we're all caught up, well, let's take a look at the scary Pennywise animatronic. Is this real life right now? Is that Georgie with one arm? This Halloween store definitely took things way too far in my opinion, but wait, there's more. You can even hear Georgie scream out in pain. Listen to this. Okay, that's too much, even for me. Let's move on. From Georgie to the Laughing Sal jumps in at number 4. This is a 6 foot tall animatronic that was built primarily to attract carnival and amusement park customers into fun houses and dark rides. But I don't know who the heck would want to come face to face with this thing. Her laugh is the creepiest thing I've ever heard. I'm almost 30 years old and this thing still creeps me out. We need to douse her in some holy water and say some prayers because this thing must be possessed. Number 3, the Ronald McDonald animatronic show. Ronald McDonald is creepy enough as it is, and I don't know why. It's the whole clown thing and who's under the mask. Well, we definitely don't need an animatronic version of him. I bet those McDonald's that had this animatronic saw a heavy dip in sales because people would purposely avoid getting their Big Macs from that location because you have to go through him first. And honestly, I don't blame them. They probably betrayed McDonald's and went to the nearest Burger King instead.
Different than the ones we've had before.
You should be happy that I only showed you a small clip because this thing is pretty creepy. Apparently there was a button that you can push and he would just constantly sing and dance. Thankfully there aren't any more of these creepy Ronald McDonalds, and for that I think the world is a better and safer place. Bringing us into number 2, we have this creepy clown. Is this real life right now? This is not okay. How does something like this actually exist? I don't know. You know what we should do? We should petition this to have this thing burned down immediately. Let's not waste any time here. I honestly don't know what kid would want to see this thing in person. If you didn't have a fear of clowns before, well, you probably do now. I couldn't find a video of this clown in action, and you know what? I'm actually pretty glad about that. You're welcome. So now you don't have to face the fact that I almost traumatized you with that one. So from there, let's move on to the original Chuck E. Cheese animatronic doll. So this tops our list in at number 1. We've seen real life looking sharks, we've seen some E.T.'s creepy friends, but none of that will prepare you for this Chuck E. Cheese robotic doll. You can't say that I didn't warn you. Whoever made this thing must have hated children. I literally feel like he's looking right into my soul. Kids probably used to hide underneath the tables when the lights turned off because they wouldn't dare look into his eyes. Nothing good ever came from watching this performance. Mostly just nightmare.
But starting us off at number 10 is Mannequin. So this mannequin is tall and gray and skinny and definitely from my nightmares. It's minimalist, yet scares the heck out of me. So I feel like someone is going to get the idea to put these in a mall so people can see how outfits move, which might seem pretty nice. But then one of them one day is gonna all of a sudden give this look and whip its head around, and this innocent passerby is gonna be freaked out, and that innocent passerby is me. And you know, not only has AI taken over, but mannequins as well now, you know? And yes, I get if you think that this scenario is a bit of a stretch, but you have to get that this thing is jump scare material. Like the video, if a mannequin just starts moving like that, I'm done. It's just yet another unrealistic expectation for women. At number 9, lifelike zombie. So this zombie has a gory arm reaching out at you, and at first glance I just thought this was an actor. Its mouth keeps opening and closing looking for its next victim, while in the background it's surrounded by other dead bodies. Super creepy. And the detail on the gore is a bit much for me, not a huge fan, and if I saw this in person I'd probably just shut my eyes and start trying to find an exit or escape, which I know isn't effective, but I don't want to see it. Also, I need to know, are those just other props in the background, or did this zombie organize the bodies of the dead they found as snacks for later? I need to know. Moving on, let's go to number 8, Avatar animatronic. So this animatronic is seen on the Pandora of the World Avatar's Navi River Journey ride. And it's this incredibly lifelike shaman. And yeah, beautiful art, but like all of its movements are so lifelike, and the syncing between lip movements and the music and speaking, it's phenomenal. But you know what it does? It hits right in the uncanny valley of looking too lifelike, but not lifelike enough, right? The eyes are lifeless, and even if they blink, realistically, it's not the same. And yes, this shaman has a better outfit on than me, I get it, but that's besides the point. This isn't a real thing, but it almost looks real, and that's just too creepy for me. I get to wanting to be in a movie, and so seeing this, you're like, I feel like I'm a part of it, but this is too much. I'm overwhelmed. Uncanny Valley just hits too hard, like Sophia the Robot. Whew, no. Moving on to number 7. Mr. Bubble Barf Gargoyle. It's a nice name, but more scary than that. So this Mr. Bubbles is a lumpy gargoyle sitting on a makeshift throne of skulls. The eyes move, the being shakes, and I don't like it one bit. In addition to releasing this misty spray of bubbles, his mouth is flashing like it holds lightning or something. If this was what gargoyles were before they're turned to stone or something, I sure am glad they have been turned to stone. Because right now its skin looks like a cat had nair put all over it, and it's not a good look. Just kinda disgusting. Also, Mr. Bubble Barf looks like a bit like Pizza the Hut from Spaceballs? If you see it, I'm just saying. Just also, on another tangent, that was a scary character if you ask me. Just gross. Pizza the Hut? Not a fan. Number 6, dinosaurs. So in 2018, a giant animatronic dinosaur was roaming around outside BBC headquarters. It was a huge T-Rex movable model from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, but like, are you kidding me? It emerges from the curtains with this yellowy fog from behind it like it just came out of a time machine. The organizers are doing this hilarious walk type run to get out of the way like, it might catch me. I'd be actually afraid. And yes, I know dinosaurs aren't real anymore, but this thing is so lifelike, I don't really know what I would do if I saw it in real life. It's just so unbelievable. Like, look at the wrinkles. The artists on this, just props to them. And yes, props to them, but also put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. I'm afraid of everything. Yay. On to number 5, Experimental Eddie. So, Eddie is described as the only person who escaped the lab during an experiment, and he hasn't been the same ever since. And yeah, we can tell. Dude looks like Frankenstein with that rebar or wire through his head, and he is still connected to power or something. Like, just do you see the eyes? They're glowing, the wires glow as well. It's a lot. If I came across that at a haunted house, I just would have tapped out. I'm like, done, bring me out, I need to go. Eddie is thrashing about, and animatronic or not, I do not want to see anybody in that much pain. It just hurts me, okay? His backstory is that he entered the lab without protection and was exposed to chemicals, so you know what? Wear protection for science, kids, okay? Gloves, glasses, lab coat, all of it. His little lore says he is on the hunt for revenge on his co-workers, so just avoid him, no matter what, and wear protection in the laboratory. Number 4, Sweet Dreams Clown. And no, you will not have sweet dreams after looking at this clown. This towering animatronic is 7 feet tall, and that's not okay. First of all, I'm 5'2", that's just so tall. Okay? Just look at the proportions too. The clown's legs are like 2 little chopsticks. They're just too tiny, and it's this perfect amount of messed up to be unrealistic and monstrous and then just straight up creepy. Plus, this animatronic comes with a small child just being dangled by its feet. Like it's a bonus or something. You know, I don't carry around a purse. I carry around a small child. They scream when I'm about to bump into something, so very useful, and also it can carry up to 3 things. 1 in each hand and 1 in its mouth. Like, no, stop. Clown, I don't want this. Oh my gosh, if someone lives on my street, do not get this, please. Okay? Do you know what the ad for this says? This clown might be available for your next birthday party, whether you want him or not. Like, is that a threat? I don't know. Number 3, a parasite thing. So first of all, if this one dropped down at me, I think I would pass out. This parasite looking animatronic is, first of all, freaking unbelievable. Very well done. It has no eyes, but a wide mouth and sharp teeth. And it has long, thin arms with moss or sticky growth hanging from it, and long, thin, claw-like fingers. It kind of reminds me of the Demogorgon with the teeth coming from its mouth and its physical stuff, but it's obviously different in the face, I get it. But it has the same haunting, gross vibe. This is what you get if you mix an insect and a person, is what I think it looks like. Kind of like the real Ant-Man or something. Creepy nonetheless, just very creepy. I feel like I'm so hype in this video. I'm just jacked. Talking about jacked, at number 2 we have Attack in a Box. You have heard of Jack in a Box, but what about Attack in a Box? This creepy freaking clown thing will definitely have you jump. Just like Buddy the Elf testing those Jack in the Box things in Elf, but worse. First of all, this thing is just huge. The box itself, I would guess, is about 5 feet tall, so I'd say the full height of this thing is 10 feet, easy. Then, the face is here to give Pennywise and the Joker a run for their money. The nose looks like it absorbed a clown nose, and the face is just so menacing. If I saw that as a kid, I'd be afraid of clowns, Jack in the Boxes, other toys in other boxes, just plain boxes on principle alone. I just don't have any trust left for these things. And with this one, you don't even need to crank it. It just goes. It will scare you regardless, and that's not okay. It's just not fair. Let me not be scared for once. Just kidding, scare you. Woo. Moving on to number 1, electric chair. So this one is definitely the scariest because of its insane detail and also just the scary themes of it. It looks and sounds like a man is being electrocuted. Steam is coming from the chair, it's sparking, and the body of this animatronic is made of something rubbery enough to make it look like the head is throttling back and forth. And this guy just looks strained, like the, you know, when your neck pinches? His neck alone looks like he's clenching his jaw, and it reminds you that this is an actual punishment. Death by electric chair. I had to look it up because I thought it stopped and switched to lethal injections everywhere, but it is a choice in a couple of states. As of 2015, Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia are the only places in the world that it's an option for execution. I had no idea. But anyways, yes, this one scares your eyes and your mind, so Other than that, it's a no for me. And
starting off with number 10, we have Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's is scary enough as it is. We don't need to transform those creepy characters into animatronics, but too late, because one man referred to as Dr. Creepypasta has created an animatronic of Freddy. I mean, I won't be surprised if it comes alive and then comes after him. But seriously, this man created a Freddy animatronic and programmed it to say different phrases and do different movements. What's creepy is the eye and eyebrow movements. Like, you guys make fun of me for my dancing eyebrows, but take a look at his. It's actually terrifying. Some of the phrases that he is programmed to say is, "It's after hours and you're in for one hell of an adventure." Then he begins to laugh, which turns into this like scary, distorted, dark laugh. Like, is that what people do now for fun? Bringing terrifying creatures to life? I mean, that dude is really talented for creating this, but I'm gonna stay far away from it, you know, just in case.
At number 9, we have the Henna Hotel. If you're looking for a unique experience in Japan that might also live in your nightmares so vividly you could swear they were real, you should go to this hotel pronto. I mean, who doesn't want to have their vacation start with a T-Rex sporting a wig checking you in at a hotel? The Henna Hotel in Tokyo has found a hook that keeps the people coming. Many workers at the hotel have been replaced with robotic animatronics. Some of them seem like normal looking people that stare back at you with the lifeless smile of a mannequin that has just learned the urge to kill, while some of them are more inventive, like the little singing Togepi looking dudes they put in your room and the aforementioned animatronic dinosaur concierge. This really does too many things. On one side you have a place that is cool and futuristic. It's a different take on a hotel, what it might feel like to stay in a hotel 20 years from now. But on the other hand, you have a place that gives off the major vibe of a horror movie. This is exactly what I think a hotel would be like if you checked in and there was no guests, and then there's no cell phone reception, and you get all paranoid that the animatronics are alive, and then it's revealed that someone is turning people into animatronic slaves and forcing them to work there in the hotel forever. And then you're next. God, I come up with so many good movie ideas on this channel.
Coming in at number 8, we have the Rockafire Explosion. Now, there is nothing cute or entertaining about these animatronics. They all look terrifying enough to give children and adults nightmares. So, the Rockafire Explosion was a band similar to Chuck E. Cheese and his crew. They played at Showbiz Pizza Place from 1980 to 1992. Now, we have several terrifying band members. Let's start with Rolfie, who played the banjo. Now, this wolf is seen holding and swinging around his friend, but it just looks creepy. Then you have Billy Bob, that just looks like a bear that has gone through some stuff and has seen way too much. And lastly, we have Mitzi Mozzarella, who in my opinion is the creepiest of them all. She is a cheerleader, but she is definitely lacking the pep. She has huge wide eyes and a giant smile plastered on her face. The makeup that they put on her just makes her look that much scarier, like she's got eerily red cheeks and red lips. She also has blonde ponytails, but it doesn't fit her costume. It looks like she's just wearing hair from like a child. Now, another thing that makes these animatronics so terrifying is that they would often glitch. As a result, their eyes would often be rolled back in their head or twitching. Yeah. No thanks.
At number 7, we have the T-Rex from the original Jurassic Park. Yo, I didn't know that Jurassic Park did an actual animatronic dinosaur until this list, but back in the 90s, CG was kinda trash, so when people were making a movie, they didn't want to make the star look like a smear of greenish pixels, so they built a massive sized animatronic T-Rex. That is both the coolest thing I've ever heard of and so scary. I just think about this thing getting hooked up to Skynet and becoming the most dangerous Terminator of all time, which is actually pretty cool. The tail alone on this monster was 14 feet long. To construct the whole thing, they ended up using over 3 tons of clay. The beast ran on a sophisticated hydraulic system, which is how it was able to move at high speeds and with the accuracy that you saw in the movie. I think when they were all done with it, it should have technically been classified as a weapon of mass destruction. They could upgrade this thing to make it super cool, put a whole bunch of military stuff on it, like strap a couple bazookas to it, maybe a laser in the middle of the forehead, a jetpack, and you can fly in and scare the hell out of everyone. You would have a living demon on your team. You would never lose a war with that thing.
At number 6, we have the Towering Doll. Just when you thought these couldn't get any scarier, whew. This next animatronic features a grayish, dirty looking possessed doll dressed in a cloak that looks like it just stole from a Dementor from Harry Potter. Now, this doll has flashing blue eyes and skeleton hands. Honestly, I'd be cool if it was just, stay like that, it's fine. But no, they had to add another layer of creep and just make it talk. This doll has a young, eerie voice that says things like, "Do you want to play with me?" or "Let's play a game." The rules are very simple. Come here and I'll show you. Then, if you get closer, the doll's eyes change to red and it slowly raises up, towering over you. Its voice changes to a dark demon voice and says, "Now I can see you. You look good enough to eat. We can play hide and seek if you want. You run and I'll come find you." And the award to the scariest and most disturbing dialogue goes to this animatronic.
For the number 5 spot, we have Lyndon B. Johnson. I don't know about you, but human-like animatronics really make me not want to sleep at night. They are too close to puppets, which are too close to clowns, which I've gone on the record many times saying that I've never liked. I have no time for anything that is creepy and pretending to be nice, and this Lyndon B. Johnson is exactly that. If you want to look at this creepy man doll, you gotta head over to the Presidential Library and Museum. For the most part, it is a pretty cool tourist attraction, but then when you get to LBJ, he starts to lull you into a false sense of security with jokes. Yeah, this robot man has a series of quips programmed into him so you don't suspect that he's trying to get you close enough so he can steal your skin and come join the land of the living. Well, I'm on to you, and I know what you're up to, and I'm not happy about it.
In our 4th spot, we have the Woke Up Dead animatronic. This one really got to me. Seriously. It's a Halloween animatronic, or it could be home decor or whatever your vibe is, I'm not gonna judge. But honestly, it will definitely scare away any trick-or-treaters and probably leave them scarred for life. But hey, at least you get more candy, right? So this animatronic features an individual laying down with a sheet over its body. All that is seen is its feet, so you wouldn't think that it's too scary, right? Well, wrong. This animatronic shows the outline of an individual's face through the sheet that is blood soaked. Then the body shakes and all you can hear are sounds of gurgling blood. It makes me feel like I have something stuck in my throat. Since it literally sounds like they're choking on the blood, it's very disturbing. Then the animatronic also lets out some scary demonic growls. Yeah, this is way too much to be Halloween decor.
For the number 3 spot, we have the Lake Placid Croc. Let's go back into the realm of giant man-eating monsters. Do you guys remember the movie Lake Placid? Well, no, it wasn't very good. It was during the reign of monster movies where you took a normal-sized animal and made it into a big animal, and then that was really it. That was the whole plot of the movie. We had anaconda, mosquitoes, 8-legged freaks, and my personal favorite, Piranhaconda. But for the movie Lake Placid, they built a giant animatronic crocodile with a fully functioning tail and jaws that would open up and snap close. The movie is kind of a dud, but this thing is a masterpiece. It had to be submerged for pretty much the entire movie, so it was completely waterproof and able to float with literally tons of hydraulic gear inside of it. One look at this bad boy and you are not going to want to go for that afternoon swim.
Making our way to our 2nd spot, we have the Killer Psycho. I think this is one of the most disturbing things I have seen. This is the Killer Psycho animatronic, which was part of the Trans World Animatronic Convention in 2019. Honestly, they killed it with this one. Get it? Now, this animatronic features a towering creature that looks like it recently escaped from an asylum. It is wearing white ripped clothing and has a Hannibal Lecter type mask on its face. What makes this even creepier is that it is covered in blood and is holding a life-size woman who appears to be a nurse. This is the nurse from the asylum that he escaped. This woman is seen hanging upside down, rocking back and forth, trying to escape as the creature holds onto her by her feet. As this woman is trying to escape, the creature just swings her side to side and lets out a menacing muffled laugh. And this woman, to me, looks too realistic. And her screams are way too eerie. It just makes me uncomfortable. The artist did a good job, but also, who comes up with this kind of stuff? Jeez.
And for the number 1 spot, we have Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum. If one animatronic wasn't enough to freak you out, how about a whole museum full of them? If you have a fear of robots, this place is spooky enough to make you curl up in a ball until someone comes to find you. They have everything from creepy fortune tellers that are locked away in those boxes that beg you for coins. You know, the kind that look like they're gonna blast through the glass and then choke you until your head pops right off your shoulders with those creepy little hands. They have a robot puppet band that dances when you put a coin in them. They got merry-go-rounds, arcade machines, and a whole scene of a bunch of devils playing pool that are hanging out in a bar, and it's actually carved out of wood, which is actually pretty cool. This whole museum is bizarre, cool, and creepy all at the same time. It's something I simultaneously want to see every inch of and never step foot inside of.